Right. Welcome to our second session. It's a brand new series. It's about the science of body and mind. It will be on 3 episodes. Today I'm presenting the first episode. Very important, very foundational, and very inspirational stuff we are going to learn. We are going to share from the book from psychiatrist Dr. David Hawkins again, who is master in medical science as a psychiatrist, and also at the same time he was a spiritual mentor and guru as well. So we will learn from his book, The Letting Go, and this is so foundational spiritual intelligence book. I love to teach, I love to share key ideas from that book and with my own interpretation and with your own input as well. We made it a huge successful session as well, like we are doing every Sunday as. So in this session, what we are going to learn. So these are the key points which we are going to learn. There is a myth or there is a reality about brain controls mind or mind controls brain, or mind is a origin of brain or brain is a origin of mind. It is a paradigm, but I'm talking about the reality. Paradigms can be a faulty, paradigms can be a negative way as well. But what is a reality? We will learn in this session. Also, why the laughing or laughter therapy is very important for cancelling our negative thought. Why people laugh or why people tend to laugh. And more importantly, what is a multi-personality disorder? That's a psychological disease people have. And what is this disease and what is connection with body and mind science as well. We will try to read it. And also, more importantly, more relevantly, that how pandemics or epidemics they spread in our society. And do they spread through virus or bacteria, or do they spread only mind to mind? It's a great question, very tricky question, very controversial as well. But let's try to learn as well in a brief way. How hypnosis does work. I don't know you guys knows about hypnosis or you have experienced this hypnosis in your life. Then this session is for you. Menstrual periods or cycle in women have some psychological connection with the mind. We will learn in this as well that how body and mind work together, and there is some surprising facts I will share with you. Matter control energy or energy control matters. We will learn as well. And more importantly, last but not the least, is what is a law of consciousness. It is also related in this in very important, very foundational session. I will try to wind up, cover this in 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And although it's all topics which I just shared here, learning outcome are detailed topics, but we will not go in details. We will just learn very briefly. At the same time, if you have your own paradigms about your body and mind, then you can compare what the reality is and how your mind and brain or the body were in conflict with the reality, and that's possibly is a great way to correct my own paradigm. What we are going to learn from today's reading. So before I'm going to in details, there is my blog which is maratibshad.com. You can subscribe this blog where I do share and write on different issues. This blog is for personal development and for spirituality as well. There is a YouTube channel. If you haven't joined my YouTube channel, there is a link, or you can spread to your friend and family. So let's start this. Today's episode will more focus on mind only. Uh, I'm not concentrating here for body, because we all are apparently is a body, and we have a body. I have a body. I am a body. Uh, I will cover the body in another episode, but here we are more exclusively discussing the mind, and especially the influence of mind on our body, on ourselves is so important. So we will learn different things. I would ask you, if you have pen and paper as well, you can keep with you. You can note down important thing, because this is very foundational thing, and maybe you will rebirth yourself in many ways. Uh, so let's start for this important thing, and we will read. There are 5-6 paragraphs in this, and we all will read it, and that all reading will help us to not only reading from the text from the book, but also we can add our own interpretation and explanation on the in understanding the text from that book, letting go. So I will start the first page, and then I would request the other audience to start it. So psychiatrist Dr. David, he starts this science revelation from this. He says the basic dictum, formal pronouncement to comprehend, is the body obeys the mind. That everybody knows. Therefore, the body tends to manifest what the mind believes. Yeah, that's a paradigm we do have. Of course, it is a reality that our body is operated by our mind. The belief may be held consciously or unconsciously. This dictum follows from the law of consciousness. And what is the law of consciousness? He states, it's very important. You can note down as a quote. The law of consciousness is, we are only subject to what we hold in mind. The only power that anything has over us is the power of belief that we give it. So by power, what does it mean? We mean energy, and we will to believe. So he further says, if we look at the map of consciousness, that is the same map of consciousness which I gave you the reference. Let me show you. This power of consciousness, map of consciousness, developed by Dr. David Hawkins. And I will come to you what is this map for those people who don't know about this map. But let's come to the reading, and then we will come. If we look at the map of consciousness, it's easy to see why the mind is more powerful than body. The energy field for reason, which is reason is related with mind, calibrates at 400 with its belief and concepts of mind, is more powerful than the energy field to the physical body, calibrates at 200. Thus the body will express the beliefs held in mind, consciously, unconsciously. So let's try to understand this notion from this map. So basically, for people who don't know about this map is right starting from the lower level of emotion to the higher level of emotion, or higher level of people, or higher level of self. So it starts from shame, then guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride here. So it's all negative self we have about, and what are their score in ourselves, in success, in our quality of life, in our delightfulness, in our happiness. What are their contribution? He gave the frequency as a score, like a score. So shame is a 20, guilt is a low score 30, apathy 50, grief 75, fear 100, desire 125, and then it's go on. And then the higher levels of our consciousness, our self, is start from reason, right from the mind, love, joy, peace, enlightenment, and that's energy or frequency is 1,000 plus. So look at if somebody has a shame emotion or having a guilt emotion, what the level of his or her life is, quality of life. 20, 30 is the number. Yeah. And somebody is at the stage of peace or at the joy or at the highest level of enlightenment, he or she will have 500, 540, 600, 700 to 1000 or plus. Look at the level of quality and happiness, or the person who is very, very close to ultimate truth or ultimate reality. That. So where we are. So now, based on body and mind science, if you see what our body shows actually, what is the language of our body? Our body show us, show to other people and to me, is shame, when we are in shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, So this is all shown by our body, and courage as well, yeah. So till here, our body language is, and it has a very low score. Yeah. But when we go further, where and we cross neutrality, willingness, acceptance, then our mind start. So our mind has a high ranking. Don't underestimate the mind. Many people, they don't estimate the mind in contribution of success and self. No, it is not. Mind is giving you the reason, and that drag your body, and also helping to leverage your conscious, leverage your level of happiness in your life till like God wants to see you. So this is not less important. So if you see, our reason has 400 is a score, and our body reaches from 20 till 200, where we show affirmations, yes, okay, these type of attitudes from our body language shows, yeah. So that's how our body is under our mind. So, and now we show this and we exercise this unconsciously in our everyday life. And how does it happens? It happens in many ways. Like, the coronavirus. Let's talk about coronavirus. Don't think me wrongly in coronavirus or this pandemic. It is a reality. Coronavirus or COVID-19 is a reality, and it is a virus. It is a physical virus which transfer into the body and destroy your immunity system. Of course, and its ending point is when the person start to die, is it destroy the whole respiratory system, this lungs, and then you are in pneumonia, and then you start to having difficulty in breathing, and then eventually you will die. That is thing. But here, what is a point? that many times in our society, the pandemic or epidemics, they spread not through virus, but our mind, induced mind, and that shared with other minds. And it spread like a fire in the jungle. And then everybody is in clutches in the what is called in the mercy of that campaign, what is going around in society. Many people, they die because of coronavirus or any epidemic, not because of virus, but with the mental acceptance of death, that they are going to die. And that's happened that we exercise in mostly part in our daily life. And do you know that who is more victim of rumors? Those people who have weak mind, right? And look at if the person who have a guilty to die, or she or he is very sensitive about cold, and you tell that person that, oh, colds are catching everywhere, that person will become more alert, and eventually he will or she will get cold. Not because of cold bacteria or virus, because of mental weaknesses, mental acceptability that now I'm going to be caught by virus. And that's happened in COVID-19 as well. COVID-19, so many people, strong mind people, even they were not in a very protective condition to protect from the COVID virus, COVID-19, but they never had this COVID symptom or the COVID virus actually, because of their strong belief that they will not be caught by virus. Whereas the weak people are more victim of COVID-19, and they are in clutches and victim of COVID-19, of coronavirus, and they are hospitalized, and they were hospitalized, and they died, and they were near to die as well, because of thinking that they are going to be virus infected person very soon. And more they were scared, the more this epidemic and this pandemic caught them. And that is a power of mind in a negative way. So, and that's happened in our attitude as well. So if some rumors are going in the city or in your town, slowly and sometimes suddenly you start to be victim of these rumors. We call in political level propagandas or bullshits about particular thing, and people start to accept it, and then they start to interpret the reality based on these rumors, because they have now accepted these rumors are no longer rumors. These rumors are now reality, and they have known the reality. Now based on this reality, so-called reality, now they are interpreting all their future or current affairs of their life. And that's the whole society start to victim of this, and they destroy mentally, emotionally, and now in because of coronavirus, physically they are destroying. So that is very important, and that's a psychiatrist Dr. Hawking is showing in the book. Or imagine that a person who is very weak and who always condemn herself, who loves to self-condemn. Many people love to self-condemn. Like if something got wrong, or they start to condemn, oh, how I'm silly, oh, I'm foolish, oh, I cannot win, I'm a bad person, I'm a dumb, so we self-condemn, and many people they self-condemn. And with that mind, if somebody wants to fear, make or arrange fear for that person Do you think that person uh, will some have some defense system? No. He or she will eventually say yes, because of my mindset, because of my level of mental thinking is too poor, is too ordinary, so anybody can make me victim of that, and that's happened. That's why the more innocent or less intelligent people are more victim of propagandas than the intelligent or wise people, because of this very obvious nature of mind and influence of mind on our body. Because the body obeys the mind's belief that colds are caused by viruses, which are catching and contagious. Thus, the body, which is controlled by the mind's belief, manifests the cold. So, this manifestation, which is around us, that the COVID will kill me, that manifestation, if is hitting our weak mind or our weak mindset, then we are going to be victim very soon. I'm not telling these things on a based on scientific fact. I'm telling you based on a spiritual or everyday fact. Look at the people, they are my friends, they are brothers and sisters in India. What happened with them? They people accepted that the virus is going to kill them, and mostly huge population, they were from the rural area, and they were from the lower social economic background. And when they were told or they listened that the virus is coming in their villages, and that village, that virus will kill, and everybody start to accepting it. And that weak mind and weak receiver, when they accept it, then they become, your body start to behave like this. And that's happened, that is showing in two example which psychiatrist David Hawkins is saying. The first example he is giving about menstrual cycle or the periods which the woman they have, and in non-clinical research, they actually what happened, they gave the injection to certain women, ladies, and they said you will have your periods 2 weeks early if you have, we will give you this injection to you. And the woman accepted that yes, we will have our menstrual cycle, monthly cycle, 2 weeks earlier. Actually, they were given the wrong or other injection what they were supposed to given. And you see what happened? 70% ladies and the women, they have early cycles, early periods, they have the symptoms or they start to have, because of acceptance of our mind. They accepted that yes, it will happen because of this injection, and even they were injected incorrectly or deliberately, they give another injection because they were doing some research, and 70% ladies, they started their menstrual cycle early. So that's the reality you created from the power of mind. The same example more or less is from the multiple personality disorder people, or we call, actually this disease has a proper name, dissociative in identity disorder. Yeah. And I will come back to this disorder example later, but let's go to some missing reading from the book, and we will continue from. So I would ask Jenny if she's reading start this reading. Second page, please.
Our proneness to accept negative beliefs depends on how much negativity we are holding in the first place. A positive mind, for example, will refuse to accept negative thoughts and simply reject them as untrue for oneself. There is a refusal to buy into commonly held negative ideas. We know how easy it is to sell self-condemnation to a guilt-ridden person or fear of some disease to a fearful person. The idea, for instance, that colds are catching is a good example. The thought that everybody's got a cold will be subscribed by a person who has sufficient guilt, fear, and naivety regarding the laws of consciousness. Because of the unconscious guilt, a person unconsciously feels that they deserve a cold. The body obeys the mind's belief that colds are caused by viruses, which are catching and contagious. Thus, the body, which is controlled by the mind's belief, manifests the cold. A person who has let go of the underlying negative energies of guilt and fear does not have a fearful mind that believes a cold is going around, I'll probably get it like everybody else.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So it's a very self-explanatory how we are under influence of our mind. And until we don't have wisdom, we will be victim of mind in a negative way. But the wise people always take this influence of mind in a positive way, with the spirit of their, with the energy of spirit which they have, with the level of consciousness which is beyond mind or the brain they have. So this is a great example. So also the thought which is more powerful because it has a higher rate of vibration, and medical science is saying that they have experimented in the laboratories that every thought has certain pattern of energy. They have energy, and that energy works. Even though, don't forget our body is made of atoms. Our body is made by molecules. And these energies, when they come across, they interact or they affect our atoms and molecules, which are billions and trillions in our body, and with our neurons, they itself are cells, and these cells are made by atoms. So here I'm talking about molecular biology and also the atomic quantum theory, where everything is made by atom. So these thoughts which have certain energies that impact on your body, even though you don't deliberately want to do, but it happens. The more energy we give it, the more power it has to manifest itself physically. This is the paradox, much so-called health education. Our health education or medical system, how does it work? It does work on only physical realities. Like the people are physical bodies and they will have a disease, and a virus or bacteria or paramecium or microorganism will go in the body, and they create or they infect, they create infections, and that organs become fail, and that's it. This is our smallest truth which we have. This is not the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is much more bigger than this small reality which we are discussing as a physical. All thoughts which are creating in our mind, or at the moment which I'm speaking with you, you are receiving it in your mind. These are all thoughts. These all thoughts first create in my brain. First create in my mind. And these thoughts, my brain process it and convert into as a memory or as further and transfer to further my spinal cord to operate and show my body language like I'm at the moment. It's my body language. So these thoughts are operating within in my brain, but it came from my mind. That's a medical science proven. And my thoughts are not located in my brain. Many people think that we are thinking from my brain. Not at all. This is a wrong paradigm we have. Our thoughts are generating through mind and then stored or processed in our brain. But where these thoughts come from? Our consciousness. Our consciousness, it is generating continuously thought, or how we have trained our consciousness, or what the level of our consciousness. If you see this map of consciousness, when you are in shame or guilty or apathy or grief or fear, you still have a consciousness, but that's a very low level of consciousness. So thoughts from this low level of consciousness, when they are showing in form of thoughts, and these thoughts, when they are proceeding from mind to brain, then the brain processed and transfer into my body, and there I start to show these through my body as a behavior. So how this all things happens? We need to change our paradigm, how we are thinking about reality. So my mind is not located in my brain. My mind creates my brain, the level of brain which I want to have. And my mind generates so many thoughts. One person usually thinks 70,000 thoughts a day. And these thoughts are continuously rippling generating like a waves. And few thoughts come in an action, but they are continuously coming from my consciousness. It depends what the level of my consciousness. If I'm connected with my God, if I'm connected with my person, where I'm taking this power, or if I'm connected with my being, or if I'm connected with my any form of divinity. Many people take this divinity from a religious point of view. Many people take or consider this divinity from any other spiritual path, no matter wherever you are. But the structure of operating our body are more or less same, originating in my mind, inspiration from my consciousness, the level of consciousness. So my meditation or my spiritual practices or reading, what it helps, it actually leverage my conscious level from shame, guilt, empathy, grief, fear, desire to higher level, reason, love, peace, enlightenment. It takes to there. The level of my consciousness will reflect on my body through my mind, transferred by my brain as a physical organ, and then it reflect here. And that's how we are scripted. So never think that you are mind, or never think you are operated or controlled by your body, or your brain. Actually, brain is a part of body as well, with so much complex physical appearance and physical neurons and millions of circuit related wiring we have. That's a different thing. But my thoughts operate here through mind. So That's why how we become victim of our thing. Do you think that the person who have so strong consciousness will have coronavirus, or that coronavirus make him die or her die? No, not at all. No matter if he or she has physically infected with virus, this virus will not impact her, because her or his conscious level is so high, the body will resist. That is called, you have what is called defense system in the body. The people who are more stronger with conscious and mental level, they have more strong defense system in the body. And more weak mind, you have more poor and very low defense system in the body. They become victim of virus, colds, epidemics very quickly. So that's how it's operating. That's so. Let's continue to read this dynamic reading, and why we feel diseases, why we have illnesses, mostly are because of poor conscious level. That's why the people who are in diseases or in, until they have a higher level of consciousness, or they work on to leverage their conscious from lower emotion to higher emotion, constantly with persistence, they do have a less negative impact of the diseases and illness in the body. That's why we run towards our spiritual leaders. That's why I run towards church. That's why I run towards my spiritual leader or guru, or to my God. That's why people are more strict towards Allah. That's why people are more close towards their God in difficult situation, because they need more consciousness, they need more spirituality in order to control their body positively. So that's how we do. So I would request Mike, if you can read this page for us, please.
These are the dynamics behind disease. The mechanisms are carried out through the mind-induced alterations in the energy flow of the bioenergy system and through the spillover of suppressed energy into the autonomic nervous system. Thought is powerful because it has a high rate of vibration. A thought is actually a thing. It has an energy pattern. The more energy we give it, the more power it has to manifest itself physically. This is the paradox of much so-called health education. The paradoxical effect is that fearful thoughts are reinforced and given so much power that epidemics are actually created by the media. Example, the swine flu. The fear-based warnings about health dangers actually set up the mental environment in which the very thing that is feared will occur. Superimposed around the physical body is an energy body whose form is very much like that of the physical body and whose patterns actually control the physical body. This control is at the level of thought or intention. Advanced subatomic quantum physics has shown similarly that observation influences subatomic high energy particles.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great reading. So, yeah, Jenny, if you can continue these examples, two examples. Yeah, one example I have just read. So if you can read this.
The power of mind over body has been demonstrated by clinical research. Is this what you want me to read that's on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Example 1. For instance, in one study, a group of women were told that they would be given a hormone injection to bring on their menstrual periods 2 weeks early. Actually, they were merely given a placebo injection of saline. Nonetheless, over 70% of the women developed early premenstrual tension with all of the physical and psychological symptoms.
Yeah. Thank you. Y- Um, let me see which these stories. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Then you can read this. Actually, you can read this. No problem.
The power of mind and body has been demonstrated by clinical research. Another clear demonstration of this law of consciousness is observed in persons with multiple personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder. Once thought to be rare, it is now found that multiple personality disorder is relatively common, and so research into the phenomenon has been increasingly prominent. It has been shown that the different personalities in the one body have different physical accompaniments. There are, for instance, changes in the electro encephalographic brainwaves, as well as changes in their handedness and handwriting, pain thresholds, electrical skin response, IQ, menstrual periods, cerebral hemisphere dominance, language ability, accent, and vision. Thus, when the personality that believes in allergies is present, the person is allergic. But when another personality is present in the body, the allergies disappear.
Yes, thank you. It's a great reading. So you see, so the bottom line is an example two is a multi-personality order person, in which when the personality that believes that they have the allergy is present, then person is feeling allergic and he say I'm allergic. But when another personality is present in the body, the allergic disappear. So what does it mean? It's a very powerful example. So you see, have you seen any multi-personality disorder person? Um, I did not see there. There may be in my personal experience, but not with a close eye. But there are so many people who are in multi personality disorder. And what does it mean that what happens in this disease? First, we need to understand what is this disease, and then we will learn what the bottom line of this paragraph is saying. Multi personality disorder is a state of a mind in which person switches from one type of person to another type of person easily, unconsciously, without any effort. And then that person disconnect from the previous person, and that person again shift to another personality. Usually the person who have this psychological disease, medical science says, they say 8 to 13 personality they can switch over. They call it alters. So they can alters 13, 8 to 13 different persons inside them, completely different from one to another. And this is, I was watching a YouTube video when I was researching on this multi personality disorder. I can share this a video link as well on YouTube as well after this video, and in which the host was interviewing with a girl who have 12 person inside herself, and she is switching automatically from one person to another, and it was witnessing by herself and also her boyfriend as well. And he was also saying that she is completely different person when she switch over to another person inside. And what happens and why this happened? Obviously, I'm not a medical practitioner or a psychologist. I can not tell you the all things in details. But if I can brief it and how it is connected with the body and the mind science, that for example, you have a personality, multiple personality disorder, and you are allergic from one thing. For example, you are allergic of egg, or you are allergic of some certain of smell. Yeah. But when you switch from one person to another person within yourself, then this allergic which you are disappear. Why does it disappeared? Now you are not more allergic of that thing, because when you were that person, you accept that you are allergic because of this allergy you have, in form of virus or in form of anything, and that your brain start to operate you or consider you a allergic person. But when you switch over to another type of brain person within you, now your brain is different. Your brain is sending command to your body that you are not allergic person. It's nothing to do with allergic. Now he or she is not allergic. That is a power of mind on the body. That is so strong influential of your mind and body. So here is I just took a picture from my encyclopedia of psychology, that a typical number of identities the person may have in this disorder is from 18 to 13, and there are different personality he or she can think. Sometimes child, he become or she become child. Sometimes he associate herself or himself in a different name. Sometimes entirely different gender as well. Like you are a feminine character person. Then when you switch over to another personality, you become male. I mean, this happens as well. It's quite strange. So this disease is a great example of how your mind controls your body. Is that revealing? Is that not interesting for you? So and now let's have a look for further. How many pages? Yeah, just 3 paragraphs left. So if you see that this is a clearly example we can do when we have experience of being hypnotized by someone. Have you ever been hypnotized by someone?
No way.
No, but people people love to be hypnotized by someone, just for because they want to test a new experience. And when what happens in hypnotism, when somebody is hypnotized, there are psychiatrists who are so much influence of on the other patient to hypnotize. It means that that person admit and start to surrender her mind to the other person who is hypnotizing you. And what happens, you start to think on the instruction of that person, and that person is saying you are, I mean, there are proper setting when other person surrender totally to you, and that person give totally absolutely your brain to that person, and now that person start to operate. Now you are a cat. Think about, you are calling someone. You are a dog. Think, now you are barking. Now think, you are this. And the other person absolutely thinking in the same different being, different entity. And what happens, you know, when the person who is hypnotizing the other person, the patient, if she or he is feeling a certain fragrance or certain feeling of something, And when they come out from this hypnotized process, he or she still can smell, that fragrance very easily. Even there was no fragrance. So how much your body is still following your instruction of your brain. So you are operating by your mind, you are operating by your body, and how they are connected. So if you want to tackle your diseases, your illnesses, or your body physical limitation, remove the limits from your mind. Then your body will instantly, uh, do revolutionary things for you. If you want to become a so strong runner, then you need to believe that you are a strong runner, and then your body start to respond accordingly. And that's happened with so many successful people. So mental conviction is the key idea behind. But always remember from this class, this session, your mind is operated by not your brain, your consciousness, your level of consciousness. Where are you? Whether you know it or you don't know it, that's how your body will operate. So, example 3 is okay. We done it. Let's learn a little bit further about this. It's the second last paragraph. I will request Mike if you can read it.
Sir John Eccles, Nobel laureate, stated that after a lifetime of study, it became apparent that the brain is not the origin of the mind, as science and medicine had believed, but the other way around. The mind controls the brain, which acts as a receiving station, like a radio, with thoughts being similar to radio waves and the brain being similar to the receiver. The brain is like a receiving set, a switchboard that receives thought forms and then translates them into neuronal functioning and memory storage. For instance, until recently, it was believed that voluntary movements of the muscles originated in the brain's motor cortex. But now, as Eccles has reported, the intention to move is recorded by the supplemental motor area of the brain next to the motor cortex. The brain is therefore activated by the mind's intention and not vice versa.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see the revelation, how we are understanding the different and ultimate realities, even proven by medical science. So this action or this revealing fact is described by science, but from thousands of years, man used to believe on it. But because of modern age and so much believing on mind and so much the traditional brain paradigms, we left this fact actually. And that's why people are dying and they are suffering from diseases, because they think that they are only the physical things where their body will surrender against and cannot defend against any illness or virus and this. That's why so many people are dying, because they were not operated. They think that they were not operated by their conscious, or there is no consciousness. Only the mind control, brain controls. Actually, even medical science, some scientists believing on scientism, I'm ironically saying, they are believing even there is no mind. Mind is just hypothetical stuff. And they say everything is operated by your brain, and brain is a reality only. But anyway, I feel sympathy with them. I wish that they should understand and they should know the ultimate reality, beyond the material reality, there are ultimate realities, and if we want to save our humanity. So that's self-explanatory. And the last paragraph in this context about science of body mind, how we do that is also done in the research in the university. And let's start to read, and then we will discuss if we want to need more explanation. So I would request Jenny if she can read it.
We see this in the many brain imaging studies done on people in states of meditation. For example, Dr. Richard Davidson's research during the last decade at the University of Wisconsin-Madison has demonstrated that compassion and loving kindness meditation practices stimulated increased activity in the left prefrontal cortex, the seat of positive emotions such as happiness, and the production of high amplitude gamma wave synchrony, sign of expanded awareness, alertness, and insight. What is held in mind has the power to alter brain activity and neuroanatomy. We are subject to all kinds of effects of the unconscious and conscious beliefs that our mind is holding on all of our bodily systems. This includes our beliefs about the supposed effects of various foods, allergens, menopausal and menstrual disorders, infections, and all other diseases that are associated with specific belief systems, coupled with the underlying stress proneness due to the presence of suppressed negative feelings. Norman Cousins, editor-in-chief of the Saturday Review for 3 decades, demonstrated this principle when he cured himself of serious physical illness by means of laughter. He wrote Anatomy of an Illness, a book about his experience of recovery from a crippling arthritic disease through heavy doses of vitamin C and belly laughter included by films featuring the Marx Brothers. He discovered that laughter had an anesthetic effect that could alleviate his pain for 2 hours. Laughing is a method of letting go. Through laughter, Cousins just kept letting go of the underlying emotional pressure and canceling negative thoughts. This resulted in a very positive and beneficial changes within his body and facilitated his eventual recovery.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It's a great reading, very inspirational reading. Thank you, Danny. So if you see that how the brain is so powerful, and more importantly is that we are subject to all kinds of effects of the unconsciousness and the conscious belief that our mind is holding on all of our bodily systems that we will become. And that's a lot of doctors, practitioners, not the medical doctors, but the medical practitioner who are not qualified in medical education even. They are doing treatment in all over the world in with different names, different trends as well. When they know and they realize this ultimate truth about the power of mind upon body, then they more inclined to having a treatment which is called spiritual treatment, or we call also mystical treatment of the person beyond the physical symptoms of that. And they try to fix the mind and that impact on the body. And that's happened with so many disabled people. Disability is, if it's not the mental disability, then the physical disability is very much a function of that person's whose mind has accepted that your body has been disabled and you can't move this, you can't twist this, you can't walk like this. If the mind is strong, that then even the physical or physiology science is telling you you can't move for 6 months or for next 1 year, you can start to walk within a month with your mental strongness or even early. And therefore the miracles also happens in the people's life when suddenly things start to change without taking any time. And that's happened, that's the miracles which Jesus Christ used to show when he was uh, loved by millions of people in Jerusalem. That is happened when the Prophet Muhammad used to show miracles to the people of Arab in Mecca. That's also happened when the Buddha was showing miracles to the people when they used to uh, in ancient eras. And that's happening still with millions of followers of spiritual leaders, whether they are Christian monks, whether they are Muslim Sufi, whether they are Hindu yogis, or whether they are rabbis in Jews, or whether they are in Buddhist monks as well, or in many paths, even you don't need to follow any religious or particular path. This is the science which they are using to healing the people's problem, healing the people's mental, physical problems, and many times, mostly time, they are very successful. Even in this age, many people, when doctors refuse them that, oh, you are going to die very soon, or you will not able to do this, oh, you have disability, sorry, you need to do this now, then the people go to their spiritual leaders, and they motivate them. They tell them, the spiritual leader show them the path, that how you need to leverage your conscious level. So once they have the increase of the conscious level from lower emotion to high emotion, and when they stay there for long time, then their mind start to operate dynamic and magic words, magic thoughts. And when these magic thoughts comes in your mind, then when your brain start to take these magic thoughts from your mind, then it start to affect on your body, and you start to have healing. That's how we can understand the power of mind in our real world, in a scientific world. So that was a mind-blowing session for many people, for audience who may be watching my recording of this video. So if you have any question, then we can discuss. Otherwise, we will go for conclusion of this session. So still, if you have any question or thought, you can put in as your comment. And I love to read your comments or share your own experience in this. I know it takes time to think and to accept this reality which we learned today, but this is ultimate reality, because our being loves us, and they want us to tell ourselves a truth. And truth is not a hidden thing. Truth is everywhere. Just we need to move. We need to go towards increase our conscious level, so that we know the reality, and we can look the same world in a different way, more real way, so that we can wipe all our fears, threats, and physical illnesses and limitations, and it will help us to improve my personality, my character, my relationship with my wife, with my husband, with my civil partner, with my children, with my boss, with my employee, with my society, with the community which I belongs to. It impact hugely positively. It's a revolutionary learning which we can take this session as a life-changing session. So in the last, there are a couple of things which we can note down, we can take our home, that through the laughter we can keep letting go, underline the emotional pressure, and we can cancel our negative thoughts, like we learned that how the laughing is so important for us. Multiple personality disorder is due to the complex and induced mind in which the person has splintered identities rather than growth of separate personality. In this order, person feels as they have a different people within, which we called alters, and it switch to another alters, switch to another person, exactly in the same way, that person. And how it is? Because of power of mind, negative power of mind. Obviously, because multi-personality disorder is a disease, mental disorder, and we need to come out from this. Pandemic and epidemic are mostly the function of our mental rumors which we have, and that become victim. And if we feel that victim, we are victim, and and that will make us even dead as well. We can be died because of these rumors if we will not control them on time with wisdom or our conscious level. We know now the mind is origin of brain rather than the mind's control and rather than the brain controls the mind. In hypnosis, the person surrender his or her mind to the instruction of the hypnotizer, and they feel exactly the same environment with that person. Uh, we also learned the menstrual cycle or the periods in women uh, have connection with psychological mind. It is for those people, those women who tends to be not brave women when, and they feel that their menstrual cycle make them weak, make them in pain, make them in difficult situation to doing my regular or professional task. But it's not. It's all about, or mostly about, your psychological setting which you have associated with this natural phenomena in your body. We also learned that the energy controls matter, uh, and energy which is released through in form of words, in form of thoughts, and when we put in our brain through mind, then it start to create our physical reality through our body, and that's called body language. And the last but not the least, that the law of consciousness says that we are only subject to what we hold in our mind. The only power that anybody can has over us is the power of believing what we give it. So if you think that you are less inferior person, you are less inferior person. If you think that you are a superman, you are superman. If you think that you are a most successful person, then you will become a successful person. You are, whatever the mind you are creating through your conscious, you are becoming like this. So that's the today's session. I hope you may have enjoyed this. So if you haven't joined my YouTube channel, there is a link below. You can join my YouTube channel. We will continue this episode as a part two episode, and I will bring the new revelations and new secrets and new learning for you next Sunday in the second session of Body and Mind Science series as well. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and I appreciate your presence and your contribution to making this session more learnful or more engaging as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Maratib.
Have a good weekend.